Welcome everyone to an awesome battle between myself as Khorne going up against Nurgle as World Beater. Now we're going to be playing on the Cathay Plains, and look at this, the triple Chungus coming in the middle. We are going to be having two of the great unclean ones here with the bound spells of the Stream of Corruption and the Miasma of Pestilence, and of course Kugarth, Plague Father, the man, the myth, the legend. The Bane of Khorne here with the Pestilence Decay, as well as the Arcane Conduit, the Children of Nurgle with the Slime Trail, and the Nurgling Infestation. He's also going to have the spells of the Fleshy Abundance, the Stream of Corruption, and the abilities here, that negative 40 melee defense, which is really strong up against 5 units, and then of course that Stand Your Ground. In the backside, we're going to be having the Barons of the Bog, incredibly powerful as well here with the Wasting Sickness. When that's partnered alongside Poison, negative 40% there on the armor piercing and base weapon damage. We're also going to be having the Miasma of Rot, which is going to be giving vigor in a 35 meter radius. On the flanks, 2 units of the Plague Bearers really bringing the tank here to the battlefield alongside a Cultist who's actually going to be bringing no summons but the Warrior Bane for reduction there on base weapon damage, and then also the Icon of Eternal Virulence, which when you get to phase 3 is disgusting. Negative 20% armor piercing, negative 20% base weapon damage, negative speed as well on top of all that poison. It really affects everything here in a 35 meter radius. The Festering Stooges also on top, the tankiest boys in Warhammer 3. They're going to be having the Festering Gate, giving that replenishment, and then also resurrecting all those dead models. We're also got the Gloomflies, giving that 9 melee defense, and Terror. So a really awesome build here coming in from World Beater, but from myself. Starting over on the right hand side, 1 unit of the Bloodletters, good anti-infantry armor piercing, and then in the backside the same here for the Blood Reapers. Now why Blood Reapers? Now of course when we have Pestilence Decay, it's really good at removing infantry rather quickly, because they generally have low HP per model, so you see those models dying off the map rather quickly. So we're going to be having the Blood Reapers here coming forward, and these bad boys have really good weapon strength with flaming attacks and magical attacks, so we're going to circumvent all the physical resistance here and hopefully get that 375 doing some brilliant weapon damage, and maybe even proc the Hellblade. So only 700 gold for these bad boys. They're very strong indeed. And for the middle pocket, 2 units of the Skull Cannons coming at the triple gold chevron, giving them more missile strength, giving them more melee stats as well, and should really help them get more ammunition and a little bit survive a little bit more here throughout the battle. We're also going to be having 2 units of the Soul Grinders of Khorne. They do actually have 800 armor piercing weapon strength, which is going to be really good here across the battlefield, and you're going to be able to shoot into those front lines. They are precursors, they're a bit annoying to use, but still nonetheless they're very good at removing this cheap and cheerful chaff. The last unit is going to be Scarbrand, the man, the myth, is going to be coming across the battlefield. He's going to be having the Slaughter and Carnage, the Fueled by Rage and the triple ability of the Rage Embodied, the Wrathful Reaper, and of course those breath attacks with the Bellow of Endless Fury. So, as you can see, diving forward here, we're going to be getting, moving up quite nicely. So we're going to be just maneuvering our cannons into the correct position, and now we're going to be getting a bit of a crossfire here. So you can see shooting down up against the line, lovely damage in the front. We're actually going to reduce a lot of the numbers here coming forward from the Festering Stooges. So good attacks going up against the Plague Bearers. Really want to whittle down these numbers so healing can't be as efficient. Breath attacks, Scarbrand was really slow with this one, but he managed to get and scorch a few of the bad boys here in the back. Now we do see the Barons of the Bog coming across, and they're also a huge target to take down. Getting rid of that sickness is going to be really important. It makes Nurgle just infinitely more tanky. So we're going to get a couple of shots, reposition, a couple more shots here. Good shots up against the Festering Stooges in the back. But hippity hoppity, coming to claim the property here is going to be those Platos. The Barons of the Bog are going to be moving around, and shots here, you can see the cannons really not very accurate, but still nonetheless they're just crucial to the build. So we're going to be shooting in the middle. Good shots. You can see the Festering Stooges really have taken quite a bit of damage, and it's going to take a long time to regen that. And now you can see big hits coming on the Platos, quite a few models going down there. Bit of a miss from the Soul Grinder, but we're still going to be getting nice and close, doing all the shots, doing all the damage, as the boys are having to come to us. Now Nurgle is going to be pushing really nicely here, but to what avail? Now we do see the Barons of the Bog, they are going to be losing models, and you can't bring back models here for these bad boys. Now they do manage to catch one of my Skull Cannons. They do get the poison on 58 speed, and they are going to get away. They don't really want to fight here up against the Soul Grinder. He does have flaming attacks and magical attacks there in melee combat. Breath attack here down the backside yet again of the Plague Bearer Scarbrand, just going to be keeping these numbers nice and low. We can see really starting to spread apart the force here of Nurgle. Now we're going to be shooting forward here with the Soul Grinder of Khorne. He's going to be doing some really nice work up against the Barons. They're now down to 14 models, and then also 3,680. So we are going to be having a heal go down, so the fleshy abundance can do some nice work here on the barons. I still managed to kill 2 more models. That's really going to be limiting the healing cap here coming from the big toads. So the infantry units and the double blood reapers are going to be dropping. I'm just going to make sure that I'm not going into the trees here. One does go, but I think this is a bit of a glitch here. You can see I'm trying to click it back, and the soul grinders, they're going to do this quite a bit. Soul grinders are really bugged. The same here for the skull cannons. So you can see I'm trying to click over here to get back into the middle, but the soul grinder is just going to walk to the edge of the map. Hopefully CA can sort this, but it's been happening for quite a while. What you have to do is you have to hold the unit, change it around and make it come back. But as you can see, I'm microing quite a few elements, so I didn't actually see this one to begin with. So we're going to be shooting into the middle here. The skull cannon's going to be trying to get into the back, doing all the damage. And you can see 7,400 there for the festering stooges. And of course, with those flaming attacks, you're really going to prevent some of that healing. So the soul grind's going to be on the outside, going to be turning and burning here with the skull cannons, really whittling down the numbers of the barons of the bulk. And here is where the tide is really turning. So they are going to be catching onto my skull cannons. But still going to be firing and, you know, doing some good damage. But they're down to 7 models, which is really handy for me. And they really can't extend too far away from the build. They need to stay nice and close here up against the chunky boys, because if they don't, Scarbrand and the crew are going to come in. Now, one unit here is going to be on its own. The festering students, they do have ammunition, so I've got to be careful of Scarbrand. Scarbrand gets away. We don't really want any of those death heads coming in and doing some good AP damage up against Scarbrand. Now, we do see here the bad boys going to be down to 6 models. They're going to be charging forward, trying to catch me over here as I go away. We do see that the soul grinder is going to be moving over. My other one is still on the edge of the map. I do manage to click him back here. You can see that he's still trying to come. I do manage to find out that he's over there, which is a bit of a mistake there for me, but that's what happens. I'm trying to bait out the barons here as well. The barons trying to get some free damage on Scarbrand. I'm trying to bring them out of position, and here we go. 360 no scope, bit of damage there, but not too much. These bad boys are starting to get pretty low. 17 leadership. When we do actually break them, they're also then going to be taking damage, and they will go away from the battlefield. But at the moment, balance of power is going to be gently in my favour. Not too much. I've used quite a bit of ammunition. We do see the skull cannons here down to 0 now. This is where it gets a little bit difficult here for me. We still have the soul grinders, but they don't count as fulfilling the attacking role because they are precursor missiles. I don't have control of them. I am going to have to get around the map, and look at the damage there on those death heads. Really good stuff there from the festering stooges. We're going to be shooting in, doing some pretty good damage. Scarbrand is coming across the battlefield, and we now do have the skull cannons. They're going to cycle charge through in the middle here. Look how many models they're going to be attacking. That's really nice stuff. We can see the festerings. They're going to be shooting up against the skull cannons. Curse of the Slug goes down, slowing down 2 of the units in the backside. Really nice stuff here coming forward from World Beater, trying to get on and punish my skull cannon as well as the soul grinders. Scarbrand in, getting a bit of attack here. It looks like we are actually going to be using the rampage ability. So this is actually, let's have a look here. There we go. It's going to be the Rager Embodied going down on the Plague Bearers, catching both of them, forcing them into melee combat. In the middle, the skull cannon still going to be going. Nice stream of corruption here down the line, but of course, Bloodletters, they do have that spell resistance. That's why I brought them here to the battlefield. It's actually going to be double stream of corruption. Really nice stuff there coming from my opponent. These bad boys, you know, caught me kind of idling there. A bit of a mistake there from me. Coming out a little bit too far is going to be the cultist. He's going to be fighting here, and here's some really good debuffs. He's also trying to bait me into attacking as well. You can see the triple chunkers coming over, but I do have the mobility on my side. In the backside here, we are going to see the festering stooges. You can see those gloom flies going around, really aiding, but the festering stooges are low here on numbers, and the lovely animations of the soul cannons and then also the grinders is just really good in the middle. They're just going to be whittling down the numbers, splash attacks, and all those fantastic attack animations are going to be doing some brilliant stuff in the middle. Now, Bloodletter is going to be chewing down through the Plague Bearers. You actually see Blood Reapers coming around the corner, as well as Scarbrand. Soul Grinder, he looks like he's going to be rotating. I want to make sure he doesn't get too close. I need to whittle down the infantry so I can pretty much focus on the big chunguses. So we're going to be fighting. You can see the numbers here going to get whittled down rather quickly. You can see that constant damage coming off the infantry. Numbers are going to be falling. It's not good here for my bad boys. They're going to get out of there, but they're still going to be taking damage as they go away because Kugarth was engaged in melee combat. Now, Sogran is going to be fighting. Blood Reapers have come around the corner. We're going to be whistling down here the Festering Stooges. Moving over is going to be more of the Plague Bearers of Nurgle. Kugarth coming across. The double Great Unclean ones are, I think, the best, maybe the second best models here for the monsters at fighting. They're only just come behind some of the Grand Cathay Sentinels. Now, we do see here in the middle, we are going to be having the Hippity Hoppities now have left the battlefield, which means pretty much that's 50% of my work done already. I need to take them down because that wasting sickness is so goddamn strong. But we can see Scarbrand. You can see that red there is really going to be bringing down his weapon strength. His base is 620. He goes down to 560. We can see we're up to 730 there, actually. So he's going to be doing rather well. Blood Reapers moving in. We do actually have some more of the Blood Letters. Now going to be carving through. Trying to make sure that I am engaging, fulfilling the attack rules, getting some ammunition here for the Skull Cannon so I can pull out and come fight again. So we're now going to be getting pretty low here with the Festering Stooges. They're going to be down to 8 leadership, 1.5k, and these boys are really tanky. They're such a nuisance to deal with, but the Plague Bearers are falling off the map, which is really, really important here, but we still have the Cultist in the pocket. So now we're going to be using the ability here, and that negative 40 melee defense, you can see it's catching on quite a few units here in the middle, which is really, really strong. And unfortunately here, that's really well timed, because it kind of counteracts my Horn of Khorne. He uses the ability to make sure that I can't attack. And sadly here I'm going to be leaving in my Blood Reaper a little bit too long, but the Skull Cannons, they're going to be firing. One of them here is going to be getting away a little bit too far. I think here I had to cancel the action and make it come back, but there's quite a few animations that are a little bit irritating. So we do miss there with the Great Unclean One. They're really, really slow to turn. It's like having a big heavy fridge and trying to turn it into a kitchen. It's really, really not going to be happening very quickly. Blood Reaper's coming back into the middle. Scarbrand is going to be fighting. He was rampaged there thanks to his ability, and was getting all that mass weapon strength. So now here we can see that Kugarth is getting low. The Great Unclean Ones, they're starting to take quite a bit of damage here. The double Blood Reaper is going to be doing some good fighting here up against one of the big boys as we try to get into melee combat, and we're just trying to do as much chip damage as we can and not take as much damage here from the Pestilence Decay as we possibly can. So as you can see, Rampage going in the middle, so we can be rampaging all three, which actually means the Kugarth can't activate any of his spells or abilities, which means we can pretty much just fight here free will for the period of time that Raging Bonding has been activated. So we're going to be fighting with the Skull Cannons. It means we're pretty much going to get as much damage as we can take here, and just trying to get as much efficiency as we can with our infantry units. Soul Grind's going to be moving around. I wanted to get him into the backside here, the Great Unclean One, so we didn't kind of block here with Scarbrand, so we can get a bit of attack on both sides. I've decided to whittle down this one here. It's a little bit on its own. It's not too far over the blob. Wellbeat has done very well at keeping them together, but I had to focus down one of them. I couldn't attack both. I needed to take one down, and we can see here the Blood Reapers are still going to be doing a bit of a number here on the Great Unclean One. Now, we are going to see that Stand Your Ground being activated. 24 melee defense is huge with that leadership, especially for the big chunky boys. Plus, they also have the Cloud of Flies, given that 9 melee defense. It's going to be an Overcast as well here, it looks like, for the healing. So an Overcast one gives that 35 meter radius, going to be healing at 1.6%, which is huge here for the big boys. They're going to get so much health back here. And it's such a nightmare for me trying to fight into the middle, trying to take them down, because of course I'm always constantly taking damage. I can't heal, so all damage is permanent. Balance of Power wasn't my favourite. It's now coming back to the middle due to the amount of healing here that is available for Nurgle. And you can see though we are getting close. One of the Great Unclean Ones is going to be going down here. Skull Cannon's going to be charging in quite nicely. We have one here with quite a bit of ammunition going down to 4 here. So I think we're going to try and turn and burn where we can. Kugar's backside is going to be available, so we get a bit of a 360 no-scope on him. But of course, every ammunition is now going to be 560 rather than 460 on the weapon strength. We break one, we push out, we're fulfilling the attack and roll with the Skull Cannon. And that is a really great feeling. One of the big chunkuses does go down. Scarbrand, though, is rampaged. The Raffle Reaper has kept him in. And, of course, he's going to be taking down one of Kugarth's big boys. On the outside, though, we do see that the negative 40 melee defense has caused there. And sadly, one of the Skull Cannons does drop. Bit of a micro mistake there for me, but these things do happen. When you've really got to be on top of your micro, you need to be, very much on top of it. Another one here as well, you can see Soul Grinder yet again. On clicking back here, I didn't see it. He starts wandering off into the distance. Maybe found his wife over there or something like that. I don't know. But he's going to be wandering off into the distance. And we see here the Great Unclean One out, and Kugarth getting rather low here. We can see the healing cap coming out of the Great Unclean One. Same here for the Cultists as well. That regen is rather painful to deal with. Scarbrand's going to be fighting here up against Kugarth. The rest is going to be taking on this Great Unclean One. And we do actually have the Soul Grinder coming back. Now, balance of power is still even, and why do you think it's even? Well, the reason it's going to be is that Scarbrand is so low, and Kugarth still has 9,000 HP. He's going to be using the Fleshy Abundance Overcasted again to heal both of his bad boys, including the broken boy here, which is going to be the Cultist. He shattered, which was so goddamn helpful. Getting those debuffs away was goddamn annoying, but he's now away, which means Kugarth is going to be even more available. Now we are going to find that we have now managed to take down the Great Unclean One. He's going to be falling rather quickly. He's going to be rampaging. Scarbrand and the boys in the backside going to be doing the business here, but balance of power is still even. I've taken so much damage from Kugarth. It is ridiculous. Plus, these bad boys are so good in melee combat. They really will 1v1 beat Soul Grinders. It's crazy. So the big boy goes down. 2 Chunguses down, 1 left to go. We see Skarbrand in the middle. Skull Cannons can now turn and burn, and the damage is going to be a freebie here. So good damage coming up against him, because he's going to be shooting all those Nurglings into the backside of Skarbrand, which is really not good there for me. A miss from the Skull Cannon, as you would expect. And we do see the Sogrunts getting away, and need to have all of them attacking from all angles, all at the same time, and then maybe, just maybe, they stand a chance. So, Skarbrand's going to be moving in. Balance of power is actually going to be even. Skarbrand's looking really low, 2,600. And at this point, I was like, I'm not even sure if I feel like I've won this, because maybe, just maybe, Kugarth could get back into this. Just a couple of big hits here on Skarbrand, and it could be the end of days for me. He's going to be still debuffed down to 600 weapon strength. The same here for the boys on the outside as well, but they're going to be fighting to the best of their abilities. Fecundity was activated to heal Kugarth, which is going to be, you know, the law-activated side ability there for Nurgle. And we do see Skarbrand, he's going to use the Raffle Reaper, he's going to be rampaging, trying to fight here up against Kugarth, who's going to be having 64 melee defense, going to be against 78 melee attack here for Skarbrand. He's going to be thumping, he's going to be dumping, and he's going to be putting Kugarth down into his place. We're going to turn and burn here with the Skull Cannon. He's going to recharge into the backside of Kugarth. We need to get one of the Soul Grinders out and around, because of course Skarbrand is going to be doing a bit of a cock block there in the middle. But of course, many of the boys are going to be attacking. The Blood Reapers are still going. One of them there actually finished off the Cultists, which is really nice. And now we do see the big boy is going to be falling. So a really, really awesome game. Thank you so much, World Beater, for helping me practice this matchup. We actually did a lot of playing. And this is a way that Khorne can take down Nurgle. It is a really, really tough matchup, but this is the only way that I found that is doable to take down the matchup. Skarbrand got 4,400 damage value, 1.3 and 1.6k there for the Blood Reaper, nearly 1.4 as well, so nearly 3,000 damage value here for the double Blood Reapers, which is pretty damn awesome. 2.8k for the Soul Grinder, 2.1k there for the second one, with 2,000 for the Skull Cannon, 1,200, but that's the one that died. Probably would have got more value, but these bad boys, you know, really do comfortably pay for themselves in the matchup, with 220 for the Bloodletters. So you can see there, Bloodletters that still had great engagements going here up against Plague Bearers and also the Festering Stooges. They very easily could have got their value, but they die so goddamn quickly up against Kugarth that infantry is really tough in this matchup. It's really tough to get infantry in to deal with all of the mass chaff, and the mass chaff is really important when you want to take down Kugarth and the double Great Unclean ones. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below with all your thoughts and opinions, and subscribe already if you haven't. It really does help the growth of the channel. Other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves. See you all soon.